Yo, what's up? Welcome to another build guide. So people have been asking me to update my trap build. So if you don't know, I am the owner of the Flamethrower Fire Trap build guide. I created this guide maybe like 3 or 4 years ago when they first added this skill. So you can also check my written guide in the forum. Because yes, I always update it. So I played lots of different styles. So there are maybe a couple of different ones in the guide. Also, the protect building is obviously gonna be updated once you are watching this video. So we're gonna check that. Right now we are in standard league because the league isn't up yet. So this is a 95 level character. With a medium budget gear, we are gonna check those. I'm actually playing with void batteries, something that you probably never seen on a trap build before. But how many trap builds have you seen? Alright, this is not a meta build at all. So we're gonna check that right now in standard league. Only 1 day left. But the gear isn't crazy. Look at these pieces. Nothing even special. Alright, this is a medium budget build. So we're gonna check the pieces later on, obviously. Let's just first do a tier 16 map and I will just show you how powerful this build is. But obviously trap builds are not very tanky. Not these kind of trap builds at least, because I don't want to play them very tanky, you know. I'm just going live, dodge. I don't care about dying if that happens. If you are not careful, you can die. So this is right now a tier 16 map with and I obviously rolled some live modifiers because all of the builds are getting nerfed. Even trap builds are getting nerfed. The patch note is actually a joke. They were like trap builds weren't get affected that much, but no, that's a lie, obviously. So yes, expect also a nerf in this build, but that's why I rolled the map with lots of life modifiers, so I can just show you the damage. So this is a fire trap plus what's that? Flamethrower at the same time. Let's just close this so you can just see the screen easier. So I'm just using both flamethrowers and fire traps at the same time. These two skills have actually a little synergy between them because you can actually deal additional damage to burning targets, which also means ignited. So burn just counts for both the burning ground effect that actually the fire trap leaves. So let's just put a fire trap. You can see that the ground is actually burning. So that's a burning effect. So when I do that, if I also ignite the target, because this is obviously a crit build, so my fire trap and also flamethrower can both deal additional damage. So as you can see, the flamethrowers right now with concentrated effect attached actually covers a good area. So you can also use what's that? Increased area of effect. Maybe I will do another map later on. So once you are at the boss, just bam bam everything. And as you can see, the damage was not that bad because this map is again actually rolled with lots of live modifiers. And I believe I also missed one of the traps. I don't know. So yeah, you do the math. We will also gonna kill some conquerors, not conquerors because I don't have any ready, I believe. But we can kill a minotaur, something like that. So you can just see the damage. I obviously have lots of videos in my channel already because this build is like 3 years old, alright? I first created this in Incursion League and updated it a lot of times. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We can just do another map maybe later on. And obviously I forgot to loot a portal scroll. Yeah, this is this was nice. Let's just take one more. So yeah, let's just first take a look at the gear, the gems, and maybe I will just do more maps. So first of all, you don't need to start with void batteries, obviously. So the main reason for this, I wanted to just stack power charges. I also have maximum power charges on talent trees. Because in the end, actually, your flamethrower will do most of the work, especially at bosses, because they actually added anomalous flamethrower traps in 3.12 in Heist League, which actually reduces the cooldown even more. So normally flamethrowers are actually a skill that has cooldown. You can see that it has right now 3.51 seconds cooldown. Just check the top right. So actually I can spam maybe 4 of them and need to wait a little. So this is with obviously the anomalous quality. I am not right now using any cooldown gear. I actually use them, but I cannot find those in standard right now. It is impossible for me to find those, alright? I don't know where they are. I have hundreds of tabs because I have been playing this game for more than 6 years. So it is impossible for me to find those pieces right now, but you can even invest in maybe some cooldown pieces later on. These are like budget items right now, nothing even special on this one. Only got the Labyrinth enchant. So yeah, you can even get a lower cooldown, something like 3 seconds maybe. But obviously even with 3 seconds, or maybe you can even push further somehow, that is actually not enough. Why is the game lagging? What is going on? Servers are GG, guys. So anyways, that's why you also need to use maybe fire traps. That's what I am doing. Because fire traps are not the main damage dealers, not the main boss killers, let's say. I am only using a 5 link. Yes, this is a 5 link right now. A 4 link helmet. Socketed gems deal 30% more elemental damage. So let's just check the helmet first. Explain fire trap, flamethrower trap. So you just want to get a essence of horror. Just use it once. Helmet, socketed gems deal 30% more elemental damage. So that's just gonna make your helmet 5 linked. So the enchant that you want is obviously flamethrower trap, has 2 additional flames. So normally, let's just check here. I think the lag is gone. Yeah. So normally flamethrower with the enchant right now, we obviously need to wait because nothing hit the trigger. 6 flames without the helmet. Only 4 flames. So the higher the flame count, obviously the higher the damage, the single target damage will be, as you can see. So the helmet makes a noticeable difference. That's why you need to buy this helm enchant as soon as possible, which is normally not much because no one plays this. This is one of the least played builds in the game and one of the most powerful actually. I played this a lot of times over the couple of years. So this is pretty much your helmet. You can even upgrade it later. This is gonna be a basic guide, alright? I'm not gonna explain all the possible upgrades. I am actually thinking about playing traps in the league. Maybe I will just play this and even update it even further. You can also read the guide, alright? There is a written guide already, written by me. So also go and read that. There are more details there. So a helmet with this is enough for that fire trap and life and maybe some resistances. So fire trap, just to use when we don't have any flamethrowers. You obviously won't have anomalous flamethrower at the league start. So you want to use that fire trap more often at the league start. You want to buy this as soon as possible. Charge trap, so I can generate power charges and frenzy charges easier because I am playing with void batteries. This is a very important gem. This also provides a lot of crit multiplier per power charge because we have like 8 power charges, I believe, so lots of crit multiplier. This actually provides a decent damage and charge generation plus trap throw speed per frenzy charge, so you can even throw these fire traps even faster. Cluster trap, so you can throw 2 additional traps. Without cluster, obviously it's gonna be very bad because you can only throw 1 trap. That's why you want to use cluster traps, but this is a level 38 gem. I believe that's why you need to start playing with multiple traps. After that, just go for cluster. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And combustion, more fire damage, and enemies ignited by support skills have minus resist. This works for both fire trap and flamethrowers. Also, let's just read the gems itself. Alright, where's that? Bottom text: added fire damage against burning enemies, which is ignite or burning ground. That is that fire trap already spawns. So this is actually burning effect. Alright, the ground effect you can see right now. And flamethrower already has that. Where's that? Yeah, again, bottom text: more 25% more damage. More means better. It's a multiplier against burning enemies. So that's why you need to combo, these 2 skills and bam, the boss is dead. That's why this build is very powerful. So let's just check the flamethrower setup. Again, at the league start, you must use a normal flamethrower because this is actually anomalous, which you need to buy later on. So you can actually start spamming flamethrowers easier. So this is something that you need to buy as soon as possible once it is live maybe. If you don't have this, you actually need to rely on fire trap more often. That's why playing with 2 separate 6 links is actually way better at a league start, so you can actually have a fire trap 6 linked. So concentrate effect for bosses or tougher maps. You can actually also use increased area of effect, maybe even awakened increased area of effect if you have the budget maybe, because the area is gonna be way higher. Let's just check. Look at this area, beautiful. So very good for mapping, but you can also go like this. But this is you need to do this gem swap at big bosses, conquerors, shapers, zeros, whatever. Elemental focus, because we don't need to deal elemental ailments, which is fire ignite obviously, because fire trap already does that. So we can actually get those burning damage boost plus combustion. So fire trap does that for us. Alright, you can easily use elemental focus on your flamethrower traps. Trap and mine damage a lot of DPS. This is actually getting nerfed, but less mine. Where's that? Less throw speed, I believe. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Not that important because we don't actually spam this while mapping. We are like this, bam, Bam. Alright, this is what's going on. So that's why actually that's probably not gonna be that huge of a nerf. Fire penetration. If you have the budget later on, Awaken fire penetration. This is normally one of the cheapest Awaken gems, by the way, because no one plays fire builds. Fire penetration, fire penetrates, fire resist. That's it. Empower later on. Maybe this is gonna be way more expensive after the drop nerfs. So if you don't have that yet, this is one of those higher, expenses later on. So if you don't have this one yet, maybe use a crit strike support. This is actually getting buffed, or use a crit damage support, increased crit damage, that also got buffed because this is a crit build. Or there's actually a gem. Let's just check here because I will probably forget to edit that later on. Before you have the Anomalous Flamethrower, there's actually, I believe, one gem that is actually very good for this build. Let's just check because I completely forgot that. Let's find that. Not this one. Yeah, this one. Advanced traps. Supported skills have a lot of cooldown recovery rate, plus duration, plus throw speed. So this is actually something that you probably want to use before buying Anomalous and also Empower 4. So you should probably play with this, so you can actually spam your Flamethrower more often. I'm not sure how much cooldown this will provide in the end, but definitely very good cooldown recovery rate. So I highly suggest you to play with this one instead of Empower, obviously, at a league start. So it's gonna be way more. Where's that? Yeah, that's, what's this? Nah, this is not very good. I don't like this. You can try it, but a very low percentage chance to throw additional trap. This is actually only needed for fire trap, by the way. Don't use this on Flamethrower because Flamethrower already has charges. These procs doesn't mean anything because that will just use those charges. So definitely not a good option if this didn't get any change or something, because as far as I know, that is how it works. So this is pretty much useless for us. Yes, definitely use that advanced traps because that's gonna be probably way better at the league start on your Flamethrower setup. So let's check the rest of the gems, then I will explain the items. So for mobility, I'm using a dash. I just used a lower level, so it has actually a lower mana cost because we don't have much mana in the end. If you still don't have an Enlighten 4, maybe you have more mana left, you can just maybe use a higher level. Or use a Flame Dash, it is also an alternative. Or use any other mobile skills that you see fit, but these are probably your best choices. Dash attached to Second Wind for additional cooldown, but these are actually getting nerfed, so you expect a lower cooldown on Dash after 3.15. And finally, Arcane Surge, if you have the budget later on, are Divergent, so it actually provides 2 seconds on that Arcane Surge, additional 2 seconds. So you can actually have 9 seconds of Arcane Surge. So Arcane Surge obviously provides more spell damage, which is good. So before a boss, also use your dash, so you can actually pop that Arcane Surge buff and kill the boss. So already talked about this fire trap, charge traps, cluster traps, combustion. So I'm just gonna pass because I already explained this. Beer trap. In the end, Anomalous actually provides skill effect duration, which is nice. So if you use a beer trap at a boss, so I will just, if I am if I am pre-casting my traps, maybe the boss is immune, something like that. A Conqueror maybe, because those guys talk a lot. Just bam, bam, bam. Get ready everything. Plus put one beer trap. And this is gonna be pretty much what's going on, and the boss is gonna die. Also use a Wave of Conviction once the boss is active maybe. Maybe you can also use an Arcanus brand setup, so you don't actually need to cast your Wave of Conviction yourself. So we are gonna check Wave of Conviction soon. That's pretty much what Beer Trap is for, because it actually, where's that? Enemies take 25% increased damage from traps or mine hits. So a lot of damage boost actually. Make sure that you use these at bosses. This also slows the boss a lot. So this actually is very helpful, especially in bosses like Phoenix, Guardian of Phoenix, or any boss that moves a lot. This is actually very good. This even bugs Sirus sometimes. He just moves around, you know. Sirus is moving around. Yes, you heard me right. He doesn't do anything sometimes. This is actually bugs the bosses sometimes, so it's very fun. I even once made Shaper walk through the whole room, alright? Shaper was like here. I used everything, you know, bam, bam, bam. He didn't die. He just moved around, you know. He's moving like this. Shaper, yes. He's just moving around. So this skill bugs bosses sometimes, which actually makes some bosses easier, but it is not happening all the times. Maybe it is now fixed, I'm not sure. So yeah, definitely important skill to use at bosses. So I also want some increased duration, so that duration is actually way longer. So I don't want to use this more often. That's why I am using those increases plus Animalus. And Rush Fire, while Rush Fire, we just want to press that at a boss fight so we can actually get some more spell damage buff. Buffs, Dilatory, Skitter Bots, once you have Enlighten 4. You can also use Aspect of Spider, just make sure that you craft this on one of your rare pieces, because this is a suffix, you need to craft this on your own from Menagerie. By using Venomous First of the Night Spider, so just buy it from someone else, put your item on the altar, press the Aspect, bam bam, kill the monsters, and that's it. You're gonna craft this on your maybe rings, amulet, wherever you see fit. It needs to be a rare item. And where's that? Yeah. And Wave of Conviction, again, if you have an open spot, actually we have an open spot here, so maybe, I don't know, maybe we can figure something out. You can maybe figure it on your own. If you put Arcanist Brand plus Wave of Conviction, you can actually use Arcanist Brand before the boss gets activated, or just, you know, attach it to the boss. That will actually cast Wave of Conviction automatically, so you don't have to press it like this, you know, manually. So just attach the brand, Arcanist Brand plus Wave of Conviction. You can do that, alright. Exposure applies minus 15 elemental resist, matching highest damage taken, which is gonna be obviously fire. But if you don't use anger, you actually need something like this, a jewel on your belt, on your talent tree, but belt is obviously better because you can only put abyss jewels on a belt, so you don't actually want to waste a jewel slot on your talent tree. Fire damage to spells. So your Wave of Conviction actually can have higher fire damage. Without this, I believe it applies lightning exposure, because as you can see, the damage is actually the same, the fire and lightning. So by default, I believe this applies lightning exposure. Maybe I am wrong. Maybe we can check that. Let's just see if it shows anything in game. So that's why I'm actually using a fire damage jewel on a belt, which is very cheap because no one buys those. Let's just check if the monsters won't die. Vulnerable to fire. Oh yeah, what? Yeah, this is actually random. As you can see, some of them are vulnerable to fire, some of them are vulnerable to lightning. Let's just cast again. Fire, lightning. Yeah, this is actually random right now. Yes, that's why you actually need this. That's why I am using that. So it actually has a higher fire damage right now, and bam, all of them are fire now. That's why you need something like this in a belt, or again maybe talent tree, but in the end you want a Stygian Vice, alright? These kind of belts are very good. Plus life, plus crit chance if you haven't crit recently. This is actually the same thing on your boots, enchant, so this works all the times. Maybe penetration, crit multiplier, fire damage to spells while dual wielding, I believe something like that exists. Yeah, these are your good stats on these kind of jewels. And finally, cast damage taken, Immortal Call for some just defense automatically. As you can see, yes, it just popped. For some mitigation, it's just cast, you know, automatically. You don't even need to do anything. And increase duration, maybe to even increase duration. Maybe if you skip this, put Wave of Conviction here, put Arcanist Brand here. Maybe you can also do that because actually we have some open space, it seems. So yeah, these were all the gems. So let's just check the other items. So void batteries are something that you want to buy later on. They are just for power charge stack. Alright, that's it. In the end, provides a lot of DPS and not that expensive. And Assassin even got another nerf. This is a Saboteur, obviously. Assassin got another nerf now. Maybe these are gonna be way cheaper, but I am not sure. Alright, don't blame me if anything happens to the market in the new league. In a fresh league, just start with dual ones, +1 fire gem, spell damage, fire damage to spells, crit chance for spells, crit multiplier. Alright, all of them are good. +1 spell or fire gems are very good, obviously. After that, actually the easiest way to get damage is to buy these cards. Porcupine, 6-link short bow. Most people don't want to play with bows, but this is actually way stronger at a league start. So I actually rush for these cards as soon as possible. Just snipe them, buy them as soon as possible. Then use Essence of Woe. Two-handed weapon, increased spell damage. And just use these until I get maybe crit multiplier or +1 socketed gems. and then use that bow as a 6-link. You can even use fire trap in that and use another 6-link on probably on a rare chest piece, because it is hard to link 6-link a item on your own at a league start, obviously. So you can actually use 2 separate 6-links, not this helmet, at a league start with a bow from Porcupine cards, fire trap 6-link, flamethrower 6-link here, or use flamethrower here as a 5-link and use whatever chest piece you want. Use a not linked, carcass jack, or if I don't forget to edit, I'm just gonna put maybe a couple of examples here. If I forget anything, maybe just ask it in my Discord. All right, I already have a Discord with thousands of members, so just join there. So yeah, use another chest piece because you will already have a 6-link ready. So this is pretty much how you want to start a league. Some wands, then porcupine cards, and eventually void batteries. That's what I am doing. This is the most powerful version that I have been playing. I played this build maybe like 5 or 6 times over the years. So this is the final version that I am comfortable with right now. You can even upgrade it further, by the way, because again, this character is not that tanky. I don't care about that. I just want the bosses to be dead. And even after the nerfs, I 100% believe that this is gonna be a very powerful build. So amulet, as you can see, the what's that, annoyant? Yes, it is even life annoyant. It's not even giving any damage because I just wanted to push 5k life. That's why. Crit multiplier is #1 stat. Maybe spell damage, life, and resistances. If you have an open prefix, put some area damage. This is a veil option, obviously. For stats, for the base type, you will need some dexterity and strength, so that's pretty much the good ones. You don't need intelligence for this build. So pretty straightforward, very cheap amulet. You can even upgrade it further. You can get an influenced amulets later on with +1 fire gems, +1 dexterity gems. These are not intelligence, these are yellow, green gems. So you actually want dexterity gems. So you can even get +1 gems and crit multiplier at the same time. So these are budget items, alright? And we are gonna kill bosses later on in this video, and you will just know, and you will just gonna be like, what is this DPS, alright? So look at these rings, nothing even special. Life, resist, that's it, nothing. You can maybe craft your own rings at a league start with these. Other jewelry, a lot of fire damage. And you can also use scorn, crit multiplier. Another ring, resist cap, nothing even special, and aspect of spider later on. For if you want to use aspect of spider, so our buffs are zealotry for more spell damage. You can also use anger at a league start, that can actually be better, but in the end zealotry is actually way better once you level those gems. Skitterbots, chilling and shocking enemies. Obviously it will give us some damage thanks to shock. Chill is for slow, and more trap and mine damage, so it's good for DPS overall. If in the end you want enlighten 4, if you don't have that, you cannot actually use aspect of spider. So if you don't have enlighten yet, obviously you want to skip. Yeah, you want to play like this: skitterbot plus zealotry, not aspect of spider. Aspect of spider just slows the monsters, so you are gonna be tankier while mapping most of the times, and also provides some damage. 5% increased damage taken per web stack, 15% increased damage taken total. But in the end, you want to get some enlighten. You must have level 4. Level 3 isn't enough, unfortunately. So this is a high budget upgrade actually. So you can be a little tankier and also get some damage. You can also use maybe different buffs if you want. You can even use Herald of Ash with Circle of Anguish rings, with reserve reduction plus buff effect or whatever. So you can use one of those rings and maybe use Enlighten 3, even maybe Enlighten 2, just calculate it, alright? So a Circle of Anguish is actually another good example. But obviously you want to use Herald of Ash, not Aspect of Spider, alright? But these two buffs are probably your go-to buffs. Maybe Anger early on, switching to Zealotry later on, alright? So best in slot glows, Slave Driver's Hands, because you can actually buy, what's that, Alva's temples, maps, let's say. View, temple. This is the temple that you want. You actually want Sacrificial Chamber level 3. This is level 1 right now. So if you go for that, use Architect's Hand. That is the downgrade, There's a glows called Architect's Hand. If you use that glows here, but level 3 Sacrificial Chamber, you can just buy this map from someone else. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Because you can actually sell Temple of Atzotls right now after 3.14 patch. So just buy it from someone else. Apex of Ascension is the map's name, I believe. level 3 sacrificial. Use the architect hands. Maybe I will also put a picture if I don't forget. I believe what's the vial of something. I will just put it on the screen already. Use those two together and you will get a slave driver's hand yourself. So that can be cheaper. That's why I recommended you to buy the map. So yeah, eventually you want these gloves. So these gloves provides a lot of things, and it didn't get any nerfs. I believe I checked the patch notes. We can also check that later on. Maybe I will just also edit if anything happened. So let's just read the bottom text first. Skill which throw traps cost life instead of mana. So you don't actually need any mana at all. So safely reserve most of that. We just need a little mana to use our dash. And we have a conviction, basically. That's it. Where's that? Yeah. 10% chance to gain Endurance Frenzy Power Charge when any of your traps are triggered. We already use charge traps, but you can also generate Endurance Charges thanks to this. Increase and reductions to cast speed also apply to trap throw speed. We are playing with void batteries, which means that we have almost 40% cast speed. The maximum rolls are for 20%, so you can get 40% cast speed. So cast speed is actually a little important on your void batteries. So try to get a decent one, because you can have way faster throw speeds thanks to that. And it makes a huge difference, alright? So cast speed is actually not that bad. Skills used by traps have 20% increased effect, area of effect. That's the maximum roll, by the way. So even more clear speed. And that's pretty much it. This is something that you need to buy as soon as possible. This is gonna be your #1 upgrade once you start mapping. So just get this as soon as possible, alright? At yellow tier maps maybe. Because this is simply broken, this gloves, alright? You don't want to use any mana at all. Get those charges, get those area of effect, get those trap throw speed. Everything is in one item. Belt, life, resist. You can also put cooldown if you want lower cooldown on your flamethrower traps. You can also put cooldown on your boots. Again, life, resist, movement speed. So these are just budget items, low budget. Maybe later on you can use some influence items if you know anything good. I will just maybe put some on the path of building, because we are not going to check those in this video right now, because you don't even need those. For boots enchant, crit strike chance if you haven't crit recently, because our traps are critting, not us. So this buff is up all the time. You can also use damage penetrates if you haven't killed, which will also gonna get active all the time, because we are not killing anything. So crit chance or penetration enchant are your best choices. And in the end, also get a carcass check with +2 trap or mine jams. This is normally very cheap, but after, if the meta changes, they can be more expensive. This is mostly like 3 or 4 exiled as a 6 link, because no one plays traps or mines with carcass jack body armor. So let's see if the prices are gonna change. If you have the budget, you can also get something with +2 area gems, because flamethrower already has an AoE tag, or +1 gems, which is gonna be way more expensive. You don't want that. Get something with AoE. Also duration, yeah, this also has duration tag. So get something with +2 AoE, duration, or trap mine gems. Alright, that's gonna be your final upgrade. For Flask, Quicksilver, so you can move faster. Diamond is gonna be 100% crit, so the lucky is actually getting changed, but we are gonna use this still because this is a crit build. Maybe put freeze or curse, we are gonna see what's going on later on. Vizok, for some penetration, you want to make sure that your fire resist is your highest resistances, but you need to check between the parentheses actually. So my fire resist is right now 135 uncapped. As you can see, the others are lower, so this means that this flask right now gives me fire penetration. So this is good, this is what I want. So make sure that your fire resist is the highest in the parentheses, alright? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Quartz flask, dodge, phasing, so I don't want to get stuck. And this is obviously a dodge build, so very good. Again, just put some immunities, freeze, curse. You can also put maybe cannot be frozen on your boots. That's actually a craft from crafting bench. And skip freeze on your flasks. Because flasks are actually getting nerfed. You cannot get perma immunity anymore after 3.15. So maybe getting a frozen immunity boots can actually be a better solution. As promise, elemental damage as extra chaos. This is also another good option at an early league, because this is gonna be cheaper and also provides a lot of chaos resist. So maybe you can also use this instead of a Vizok flask, or maybe instead of quartz flask if you don't care, alright. So yeah, these are your possible flasks. And finally, life flask with bleed removal. Instant recovery is nice, but at actually some maybe boss fights, this is actually way better. This kind of flask that actually heals more, because trap builds unfortunately doesn't have that much crazy healing. You just get some healing from your, what's that, Saboteur ascendancy, and you need to actually Where's that? Yeah, this one. Regen 2 life per second for each trap triggered recently up to 10%. So your maximum healing is gonna be 10% life regeneration. That's it. Traps cannot leech or anything. So that's why you actually rely on life flasks on boss fights. So yeah, you need to play careful. These kind of builds again are not very tanky at all. If you are a super new player, you might have maybe some troubles in maps, because if you don't know what to dodge, if you are slow, you might end up dying a lot. So if you don't care about that, definitely a solid build. But you need to be very careful while playing these kind of builds. Finally, let's take a look at the talent tree. Maybe you are curious. I can maybe explain a couple of things. So first of all, at a league start, before you buying void batteries, obviously skip power charges. You can still get those because you can actually use charge traps, obviously. If you want, yeah. But you don't need to invest that much in power charges at a league start before void batteries. That's why you can safely skip those. So obviously you want to go like this. By the way, these are all in the path of building. Obviously there are going to be lots of leveling trees. There are going to be everything. So I'm just going to show these. Maybe you are just curious. Alright, it's going to be a short section. Just go like this, you know, get life, get assassination for crit, get this actually, because in the end I don't have much places to cut some points, you know. That's why I actually don't use this in the end. But obviously at the league start we are using this node here. Trap damage. Can have up to 2 additional traps placed at a time. This is actually maximum, by the way. So this is pretty much useless later on. So you can actually right now put 20 traps. With this it's gonna be 22. That's it, nothing even special. But later on just you can delete these points. I actually go like this at the league start, something like this maybe. Just go for acrobatic as soon as possible so I don't die while leveling. Also trap wheel is here. Trap damage. Traps cannot be damaged for 5 seconds after being thrown. This is actually very good and makes a huge difference in some boss fights. If the boss is casting some stupid stuff on the ground, you know, maybe your traps are just getting destroyed even before they can actually get activated. That actually happens, especially in Uber Elder. So that's why this is a very important passive, notable. Crit chance, crit multiplier, penetration, just usual trap stuff. What else? Nothing special, just some trap stuff. Just get these at a league start. This is how your traps can have 1 additional cooldown. So 4 flamethrowers total. You can just stock up to 4. If you don't get this, you can actually have 3. So definitely get this. Also, this provides cooldown recovery rate, which is important for this build. Some extra reservation, so we can actually use some skills. If you don't get this, even if you have level 4 enlighten, that is not enough actually. So you also have to get this. Otherwise you cannot use dash. You won't have any mana left. You have like, I believe, 4 mana left. 3 mana, 4 mana, whatever. You cannot use anything. You can obviously use traps because they are free thanks to this. But you cannot use dash, mobility, you know, wave of conviction. Or maybe you can use life tap support and maybe skip this. I don't know. Just figure it out if you want. Because life tap makes a skill, you know, free. It just costs from life actually. If you just attach maybe wave of conviction plus dash to a life tap maybe, you can actually use everything without even costing any mana at all. And maybe skip some points. I don't know. You figure that out. I haven't tried it. And what else? Nothing much to explain. The main reason I am going down here is to increase the duration on flamethrowers, because in the end flamethrowers are your main skill, you know. So having an increased duration is actually very good. I highly like this place, and I can also go for constitution to get even more life. That's why I'm going here. Another power charge. Let's maybe also take a look at jewels. These are all written in the guide, that's why I didn't want to actually I'll explain those, but yeah, let's just also do those. This is a crit build, crit multiply for fire skills, crit multiply for elemental skills, crit multiply for spells, global crit multiplier, crit multiply, what else? Spells, global, I believe that's it. So crit multiplier is your best choice. Life, obviously. Burning damage isn't important, we don't use that, this is just something that I got. Spell damage, area damage, trap damage, that's pretty much it. Crit multiplier. This is actually a bad jewel, by the way. Something like maybe 20k at most. Yeah, this is bad. Low budget jewel. And in the end also, yeah, we have one more. Crit multi, life. Yeah. And in the end also buy a Watcher's Eye. Anger, Fire, Penetration, or Anger, Crit, Multiplier. That's the only thing that you want. If you have the budget. By the way, yeah, this is wrong right now. Yeah, we are not playing with Anger. You actually want to play with Anger at a league start. Again, that is because better before you level those gems to 21 or whatever. Maybe getting Empower. Because if you have enough gem level, actually Zealotry, or however it is pronounced, is actually way better in the end. So at league start, use Anger Aura instead of Zealotry. Watch something like this, you know, a Watcher's Eye. Damage penetrates, Anger, Fire Penetration, or Crit Multiplier, Fire Penetration. If you want to use Zealotry later on, alright, just check Path of Building. You obviously want to get a new Watcher's Eye. Zealotry Crit Penetration, I believe. That's something that exists. What else? I'm not actually really sure, because that's probably the only good modifier. Also maybe Crit Chance with Zealotry, or I get a double Zealotry Watcher's Eye and then you start using a Zealotry Aura maybe. Because normally Zealotry Watcher's Eye are very, very cheap. So maybe a double one is not gonna be that expensive. So definitely check that. And that's gonna be it about the Watcher's Eyes. Yeah, that's the end of the guide. So again, I'm telling again and again, this is a written guide. Go and read that if you want. Or if you think that this video is enough, because I actually explained almost everything. And you can also go for that. But if you're a new player, maybe I highly suggest you to read the guide in the forum. So this is my own guide. Again, I'm telling you, I am the owner of this guide. That's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. I have lots of build guides in my channel and more will come, obviously. If you want to learn more stuff from me, stay tuned. And you can also join my Discord. We talk all the time in the chat or whatever. Yeah, bye bye.
One of my captors felt no emotion. He did not hesitate to inflict pain.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Stretches the sanity of the mind. your death, this nightmare may finally end.